What's up guys, welcome to Freedive Passion. Today I'm going to talk about a philosophy that I subscribe to and that I find very useful for freediving training. Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy made famous by the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. A Stoic understands that attaching importance to things that are out of your control is going to lead you to all kinds of hardship and pain. A Stoic values only what he or she can control, and that's your actions and your reactions, and the focus is always on becoming the best person that you can be morally. So I can give you guys like a quick example to illustrate what I'm talking about. Let's say two people come to me for coaching. Both of them have a PB of, let's say, 30 meters, and they have 2 weeks to undergo some training. There's a guy named Jeff. His priority is to reach 40 meters. That's really what he wants to do. He's attached a lot of importance to reaching this depth. Jane is a girl. She's came for the same amount of time, has the same amount of experience, but her priority is just learning a little bit more about freediving and improving the best she can while she's here. Now, if we break down these two expectations, we can talk about Jeff first. Jeff, he wants to reach a specific depth while he's here, but that's not entirely in his control. No matter how hard he tries, maybe it's just going to take him more time than he expected to learn the skills it requires to get to 40 meters. Jane, on the other hand, simply wants to do her best and learn from me. This is absolutely in her control, and there's nothing that anyone else can do to get in the way of this. So Jane would have more of a Stoic approach towards freediving than Jeff. Over the 2 weeks, they both develop knowledge and skills and become better freedivers, and by the end of the time, they both reach 38 meters. Now Jeff, despite becoming a better freediver and everything that he's learned, he's unsatisfied by this experience because he didn't reach the target that he wanted. Jane, on the other hand, was fulfilled by the experience, and she was always going to be because she managed her expectations in a responsible way. The progression, the knowledge gained, everything was the exact same for both divers, except one was happy, one is sad. And the sole reason for this is expectations. You can see the same in everyday life. You can see two people making the same amount of money, living in the same sort of house, having the same sort of family, basically in the same situation. One is happy, one is sad. One thing you can learn about this example is that it's not so much what we have or what we achieve in life, more the expectations that we have, which is going to affect your happiness. I really like Stoicism because it shows us that our feelings of satisfaction are purely a consequence of our own thought process. This is very important when considering target setting within freediving and within your everyday life. The things that happen to us and the situations we find ourselves in are mostly out of our control. This is what we call fate. All we can control is how we react to these situations. Accepting all possible outcomes while still always doing your best to reach the most favorable outcome to you means the focus is on doing your best, not reaching a specific target. If you reach where you want to reach or not, it's not down to you. There's all kinds of external factors which are in play. So if you focus too much on the target where you want to reach, then you have a very high likelihood of becoming upset and downtrodden and giving up on whatever your hopes, dreams, targets are. If the focus is on always doing your best, always trying to better yourself, better your situation, then you can always go to sleep at night knowing you've achieved something and that you've took a step forward in your life. To talk more specifically about freediving, another way expectations with regards to specific depths is going to affect us is the more importance we give to reaching a depth, the more stress we're going to associate with that depth. We're turning it into a really big deal. It becomes very important to reach this depth. So you're going to start the dive with more stress. The more stress you start the dive with, the more likely you are to mess up with regards to technique or blackout. To use an extreme real world situation, I can talk about my friend Stavros. Now, just over 10 years ago, Stavros was a competitive freediver. He was training regularly and competing regularly. And to improve his depths, to get new national records and PBs was very, very important to him. But at that time, Stavros was struggling a lot with hypoxia and he was blacking out on his deeper dives. Now fast forward 10 years, he's running his own freediving center and he's an event organizer. He still free dives, but purely for fun. He doesn't train so seriously anymore, and he doesn't attach importance to specific depths. He just dives because he likes to dive every now and again. As a consequence, the stress is gone because he's no longer setting these lofty targets or attaching a lot of importance to these targets, and he's actually increased his PBs now and got a world record. Now, despite being Greek, I've never heard Stavros mention Stoicism or being a Stoic, but he is a very, very good example of how the wrong expectations and the wrong type of target setting can hold you back in your freediving. For me, myself, when it's time to train, my main focus and target is simply to learn. If I reach the depth that I expect I should be able to do with the experience and training that I've done, then I know the methods that I've used work. If I fail to reach that depth, I know the methods need some tweaking or maybe even completely abandoning. So I can only finish my training period on a positive note. Either I've learned that a specific technique works or a specific program works, or I learned that it didn't work. Removing expectations from your dive removes stress and opens up a new space that's going to allow you to learn and enjoy your dives in a deeper and deeper way. Personally, I find the thought that my own satisfaction is my own responsibility and as a consequence of my own thought processes very empowering. And it teaches me to be responsible for my own actions and my own thoughts, rather than projecting my issues onto someone or something else. Of course, this can be very tricky. You need the motivation to do the training, put in the work, spend the money, spend your spare time on holiday going somewhere where you can freedive. It takes a lot of motivation. The question is, where is this motivation coming from? Is it coming from just the joy of the sport and the willingness you have to learn and the want that you have to get better at the sport? Or is it coming from attaching some sort of importance and meaning to reaching a specific depth? It's very, very difficult to pay attention to your own mind and your own thought processes and see exactly what's going on and where this motivation is coming from. But this is just one of the things which can help you become a stronger, better person with regards to freediving and learning freediving, progressing in freediving. Just building this awareness of exactly what's happening in your own mind and where the motivation to do specific things in your life is coming from. But doing this is teaching you about yourself, and the more you know yourself, the higher the chances are of you noticing positive or negative patterns, changing these patterns, and just becoming generally a happier, more content person. And that's it. I'm no guru or philosopher, but this way of thinking has helped me a lot, and I've been thinking like this for maybe 3 years, and I've been progressing in my freediving. I've been happier, less mood swings, less depressions. So I really just wanted to share it with you guys, and hopefully some people will listen and it can actually start to improve their life as well. Until next time, guys, take it easy and dive safe.